The scene is set in the office of Thomas Williams. Mr. Crown, Mr. Christian, and Mr. Stanhope are there meeting with him to discuss business and whatever else of the evening. The scene begins. Gentlemen, it's good to see you here this evening. Why don't you come on in and take a seat?
Crown walks in and takes a seat. There's a manila folder in his hands. Mr. Williams, I have security reports for you. As of my absence lately, it has been stacking up on my desk. So I have worked it all out, and everything should be in there, sir.
Excellent. That's good to hear. It's one of those things that we just all have to do sometimes, do the paperwork. Mr. Stanhope, good to see you. Mr. Christian, come on in here, and we're going to discuss our business and plans. Mr. Stanhope, I turn to you.
Well, Sam, I take it Mr. Kennedy has sent you the report that our Tremere contact made on Mr. Fowl?
Yes, what do we have? What has that gave us?
It was Mr. Jivy, the investigator. He found out precious little, but maybe a few bits and bobs within the report, which is very well detailed. You have to admire the man's diligence. Might prove useful in the future.
He is a very thorough man. It's one of those things that I appreciate about him very much so, and almost want to get him under our employ sooner.
Well, now that the Tremere have come out of their hidey hole, perhaps it would be a good idea. Who knows what waves they will make, and if any resentments are kept for our acquisition of their old influence.
I'm going to use the specialist we have on retainer and send off to him. I'm going to send off Mr. To take care of the mayor to get rid of our issues that we have with him.
Is that entirely necessary, sir? Could we not do this in more diplomatic channels? The man is not exactly strong of mind.
Well, I believe that is a situation that we need to make sure that we optimize our potential in, and if we can get rid of the mayor, then we don't have to worry about any more issues with him. At least that's my thought.
Who will be his replacement? Do we know? Do we have someone ready to take the place?
I am sure once everything is said and done, it'll fall apart, and the right person will fall into its stead. Otherwise, we can easily enough try to steer it in a different direction.
And how will we cover our tracks?
Same way we always do, using the grace and influence that we have of all been true.
Well, we know he'll be in a very public place, at least tonight. He'll be hosting the 4th of July celebrations.
This is true. Christian, do you think you could get close to the mayor and find out his exact movements?
I can give it a bloody good go. If he's in public, I can get close enough, I think.
Excellent, then I think that would be the best course of action that we could try to do.
It will certainly make sure that the other family won't have his claws in City Hall as much anymore.
That is the primary reason as to why I want to plan what we're doing, because I do not want to have the Giovanni in that kind of influential situation anymore. Mr. Crown, what are your thoughts?
It's definitely a difficult situation, sir. Um, using our retainer, granted, it does guarantee a little more rate of success, but I feel a slight hesitation using such an important asset to something as simple as taking out a mare. If you catch my meaning, sir.
Well, I catch your meaning, and he's not so simple asset when he's been influenced by the world of darkness. He's probably has a lot of resistance to any normal tactics that we might try to employ or use.
All the same, I would like some form of contingency. I'm not quite sure how to do that, but I'll definitely think up some ideas, sir, and I'll get back to you. Nothing's coming to mind as of yet, but I will definitely think of something before tonight. If Mr. Trueluck is available, I would say we should probably use him. Using myself is a little risky, sir, because I am directly connected to our clan. If I am caught, I'm not saying that I would be caught, but if I am spotted in some way, then we are directly to blame, unlike if we had Mr. Trueluck or if we had our asset take care of it. I would just like some form of plan B in place.
Well, he's certainly a problem. I hear on nearly a nightly basis Lotharius complaining about his practices, and the Giovanni need to know that we're the ones in control here, not them. They need to work through us to get any standing within the city. Perhaps something a little bit more subtle might be in order. I believe he is hosting the blood drive for charity. We could arrange that the equipment used was substandard. Maybe infect him with a mortal disease.
So try to use something that's going to cause a slower gain instead of as quick as a bullet can be.
I do not doubt the efficiency of such a tactic, but I do not know our retainer. I do not know of his skills or the risk he poses to us if we are discovered.
Well, either way, I think we need to bring it up with some of our other clan as well and discuss it. But if anything, I'm going to move forward with trying to assassinate the mayor anyway, as it is, because I think it's for our best interest.
Then I would recommend we do it fast and we do it without warning. The longer we leave it, the longer we give the others interested time to maneuver.
True, but we also need to make sure that we are setting it up where when the people fall, we have something there that actually can be part of the retainer. But as of right now, I think we'll just take whatever steps we can. Any other questions about this particular venture or concerns, gentlemen?
None. Will we be striking the mayor during the day or in the evening?
More than likely, we'll be striking him in the evening. That makes it easiest for us.
If it helps, sir, I hear on contacts that he might have Giovanni agents around him during such times. If you could give me a date and a time, I can try and negotiate to try and make sure that they are away from the mayor at that time.
Yes, that'll be the best thing we can do, is try to find where he is. So I want the three of you to try to start monitoring his movements and let me know where he's going to be, what his routine is, and then we will strike from there. Is this fair?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Christian, Mr. Stanhope, what are your thoughts?
On what subject, sir? On this one, or
Wrapping this up is basically the biggest point here.
if it is the will of the hands, then it shall be done.
Christian, what do you think? You're new to the ongoings of the world.
Well, if you want the mayor out of the way, and you want someone good in his place, you best know who you want there before you start putting holes in the back, making a power vacuum. You don't want to do that.
Do you want to be in that position, Christian?
Oh no.
Mayor Christian Bannon. I think that's got a good ring to it.
Don't quite know if I could handle that one, but if you wanted me to do it, Mr. Williams, I would do it for you.
I'm sure we could probably push him in that direction and teach him anything he needs to know, don't you think, gentlemen?
I believe in American politics, it takes quite a lot of capital to run for office. You would have to have a legitimate reason to have such capital.
I'm not much of a politician. They get quite suspicious. Just one week I'm a bartender, the next week I'm trying to run for mayor. Realistically, I don't think people would buy that.
You have a point, Mr. Brennan. So, who is the opposition for the mayor? Can we get our claws into him?
I'm not sure. We have to do some more research and find a person or a candidate that would like to be in that position. And we control the media, Christian, so I'm pretty sure we can manipulate the public interest of how you're going to act in office.
Perhaps even rig it so a rich relative gives you a sizable sum and some business, land, factories. I'm not sure what we could have to give it, but it's easy to manipulate. If you had a political leaning beforehand, Mr. Brannan, perhaps taking some night courses, or perhaps being the people's vote, that will certainly help matters. Rags to riches is always a favorite of the Americans, I believe.
It's the absolute American dream.
Going from nothing and achieving everything. That is America.
Make a good case, Mr. Stanhope.
And just think of the power you could have. You could influence so many things. You could have factories. You could have, you'd have the guidance of our entire clan, so you wouldn't have to worry about too much and any problems. We'd be more than happy to steer you in the right direction. I'm thinking this might be a good gig for you.
It's very kind of you, Mr. Williams. Always been a much smarter man than I.
Only when it's needed. Only when it's needed. Well, then I think we've concluded what we need to have here, so why don't you gentlemen go ahead and follow up, find his movements and whatever else, and then we will work to strike a target on him.
Apologies, Mr. Williams. May I add my own little level of business to this meeting?
If you keep it short.
I would simply like your blessing and perhaps your direction in where this VTMYTE business was going. After talks with Mr. Kennedy, I am looking into acquiring a bottling facility to make sure that our fine vintages are given the class they desire. I have plenty of supply, in which we need to talk more, Mr. Williams, over our project that has been left on the wayside. And I have been speaking to people who will buy it. I have pretty much all the city in hand. I am but a couple of steps away from having a monopoly.
So what we should do is there's a nice little wooded area just off my parking lot that we could tear down and turn into a factory and actually build your factory. How about that?
Hmm. Also, there'll be a level of staffing because of the sensitive materials. We don't want any industrial espionage. Do we have many?
I think we'd be able to handle most of it and keep most of it in tow. I'm sure that won't be a problem. Could always make a power play for Ariadne.
How would that help?
It just gives us more people that we have in our pockets.
A sweet girl, but I'm not sure that she'd add much, personally.
Well, I think building a factory is better than trying to find something separate. If we can build it off the little area off the parking lot just north of my building, you can have a nice overlooking reach of the city and whatnot. I don't think it's a preserve or anything.
If that's the case, I heard there might have been one in the city which we could have just taken, but the quicker the better.
Well, I guess if we could just take one, that works better than building one.
I'm getting a lot of supply in and no way to package it. So the quicker we can get this business running, the quicker we can get the profit out of it.
Well, then I give you all the power and persuasion that you need to achieve this and to be able to bottle your stuff as quickly as possible by any means necessary. You may proceed in any direction that you need via the power hand of the Lady Orchid and myself.
You are most gracious, my hand.
Very excellent. Congratulations on your new venture, Christian. Congratulations on being the new mayor. And we will continue our business forward. The scene ends.